Hey there, welcome to the Psalms in a Minute. Today's video, we are tackling the 10,000 foot view of the 12 verses from Psalm 2, and it's a psalm of not only contrasting spaces, but a challenge to you and I about competing voices in this world and beyond, and who should you listen to? So stick around with me, and let's jump into this psalm in a minute. Thanks for joining me. My name is Kelly Vanderwoude. We are looking at Psalm 2 today, and we're going to do so in a minute stance, which is a lot. I say that because I have lost count on how many takes this has taken, and that is something that I've learned, and 3 weeks in. So I'm a quick learner, or maybe I'm not, because I'm still trying to do this in a minute, but that is the goal that I have for us. And so we are going to jump right in, because I know you came for that and not to hear me ramble. So with that being said, there's a lot to take in and a lot to say, but we're going to do this in a minute in 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. This is a coronation psalm, or a royal psalm. It would have been used on the day that the king was crowned, and thus these are words of encouragement for him on how to act and how he leads the people of God, and do so in accordance as a covenant child of God. This psalm also is a reminder that there are two ways of this world, ways of the wicked and the ways of God. There's light and darkness, good and bad, right and wrong. And so how are you going to lead? How are you going to rule God's people? But what's really interesting is this psalm has a rhetorical question at the beginning in verses 1 through 3 that then give us a response in verses 4 through 12. It's as if the writer is so dumbfounded at not only the ways of the wicked, but why they would even try to go against the ways of God. And so it almost begs the question to the listener, are you on the side of the wicked and the ways of the world, or are you on the side of God? The ways of the wicked stand before you. Do you side with them and the kings of the earth, or do you side with goodness and the kings of heaven, or the king of heaven? Because you must be warned, there's a response to either side of those. And it ends with this request to bless this son, this king of God, and as the king takes refuge and protection in the God of heaven. So for a coronation psalm, it's a reminder of who they belong to and why they are here. And that's your psalm in a minute. Well, we made it. There's so much more that I want to say, and so I don't want to just leave it at that, because we can't end there. So let me stop my timer here. We need to consider this as more than that. There's so much extraness that is going on. And so if you want to end, you can, because I told you we'd get it in a minute, but I encourage you to stick around for just a second here. Because again, there's more going on here that I cannot not speak of, because as a Christian, there's a greater arch that is going on, and it's because this screams of Jesus. The installation of the king, all the verses, they speak of Christ. As we read about the Son of the Father, the relationship, the inheritance of the nations, the earth as its possession, the breaking of the rod and iron, the overthrowing of kings and the nations of this world. Blessed are those who take refuge in him. You cannot get away from Christ here. So it's no wonder that when you read the New Testament, you can't help but find, when then you read Psalm 2, that there is a relevance, there's a pointing to, there's a hope that takes us from Psalm 2 to the next hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, when God sends his one and only Son into this world. I had to speak that as a minister in a Christian Reformed church, as a man of God, as a follower of Jesus Christ. We had to go there, and so that is what I'm going to be telling you we are going to be doing following these as well. So you got your psalm in a minute. You got the arch to Christ. Thanks for joining me. I hope this was encouraging and helpful. A couple closing things before you head out, or you may have already headed out, I don't know. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's down there at the end, so that you can follow along, get notifications on these uploads to the other psalms, as well as anything else I plan on doing, which I don't know what else I plan on doing, but something could be sparked. Also, you can look for other ways of following me. I am an author, and so there's a link to my social media pages, my blogs that I write, and my podcasts that I do, my other social medias, Instagram and whatnot. There's also a link to my book. I have a book on Amazon that's available for download. It's called The Honesty of the Psalms. You can also purchase a copy there, or if you want to get a hold of me and have a signed copy, I have copies, and we can figure all that out, and I can mail you a copy. But we can figure that out, so you can contact me in a few different ways. As usual, be kind, be considerate, be compassionate towards one another, be full of love and grace and mercy, and God bless.